Hey guys, it's time for week 4 of our NHL Power Rankings. We'll get straight into it and have not much changed in position 32 with the Calgary Flames. Jaden,
Um,
they look ordinary as F.
I'll have to go to my sheet to confirm this. And yeah, so Calgary Flames. Yeah, no, that it's
I
ordinary.
don't think that was necessary, Jaden.
It's locked in. Um, no, phone a friend for that one. Yeah, no, I don't know what to
Yeah,
say. It's just I don't know. Feels like a dumpster fire, and
hmm,
I'm interested to see when if players start getting shipped. Um, I believe Kadri's there. Be interesting to see him go to like Avs again for a cup
yeah.
run.
I've heard a lot of rumors around Kadri and whether or not he'll be moved.
Mm.
So it'll be interesting.
So they got a few players to move. Obviously, there's a lot to the deadline, so we'll have to wait and see. I guess at this point, you really are trying to go for the number one draft pick because it has not looked good.
No, and they're 1-7-2 in their last 10. And it just does not like it's not the fact that they're losing, but they're losing poorly as well. They just they won their first game and they've won one out of their next 12. So I think at this point there's no real point in turning your season around almost because
Mm. Yeah.
I know it's early, but you're almost that far back.
Alrighty. On to 31 for me. Moving down a little bit, I have the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, I've got them there as well.
Yeah, just 2-6-2 in their last 10. Negative 17 in goal differential, which is only one less worse than Calgary. This is not where I thought they would be around the 15 to 17 mark all year, and
Yeah.
they have not been that so far. And it's almost like the Calgary situation where the trench is getting a bit too hard to climb out of um, already.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's been poor. I was expecting them to compete for a wild card spot, and they might still, but the way they've started has been horrible. Talking of poor central teams that we thought would do better, in position 30, I got the Minnesota Wild.
Yes, me too.
Similar storyline, isn't it? Like they've been ordinary. Kaprizov signs that massive $17 million contract. You're expecting some big things out of them, considering, and they just haven't delivered on it. And I, it's early. It's really hard when with these rankings, you're 4 weeks in, and you're like, oh, doom and gloom. A team that we thought was going to be in a wild card spot or competing for playoffs is, you know, third to bottom in the standings. But um, it just doesn't look good for them at this point. Like
No,
it just there's
nah. Look,
something missing. There's something not
they've got
clicking.
cap management problems. They have had it since the 15 mil dead cap, and then I feel like they've done that with Kaprizov now. Not so much 15 mil dead cap, but there's probably 5 mil you'd want back. But yeah, another team that's just dug themselves a hole. Hopefully they can get the draft picks they need because they've been a mid team for too long. So they haven't been getting good draft picks. So it's about time they bottom out and do a retool. On to 29. Moving up just a little bit. San Jose Sharks. I would probably have this team near number one, if not number one, for teams fun to watch.
Yep.
It's probably one of my this team in Montreal. You go to teams for absolute fun. Um,
Yep.
the problem is obviously the D and the goaltending, celebrating and all that. They're gonna put goals on you, but they're gonna concede goals no matter what. That's why I'm a little bit lower. But yeah, number
Yeah.
one in regards to fun factor.
Yeah. Yeah. 100% agree with you. I went a little higher on them. I think they're 4-1 in their last five or something like that, and
Mm.
big wins against the Avs and the Devils. So they're two very good teams
Yeah,
there.
I predicted that
So
would be
I just
the Devils.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're a very speedy team, and it seems like speed is what the Devils struggle with. So, yeah, look, Sharks good to see though, because their start to the season wasn't great. So I'm glad to see them bouncing back and getting some positive results. In 29, I have my the three Central teams in a row for me, Jaden. The Central is struggling, and these are three teams I thought would be competing for wildcard spot together. It's Nashville Predators moving down 16 spots.
I got them at 27.
They they've been horrible.
Mm.
They've gone back to last season. I think they didn't start fantastically in terms of play style and performance, but their results were good. And now their play style has gone to crap and solved their sort of results. So yeah, it's unfortunate to see them back down on this end
Mm.
of the standings, that's
I
for
would
sure.
say, like, even if it doesn't look pretty or nice, they're always in it every night,
Mm,
which is kind of crazy because they can play very poor, not play a 60-minute game, and then all of a sudden the scoreline's real tight and it's still going to the third period to really decide it. Um, but yeah, it's a big drop off from last week, that's for sure.
yeah,
All right,
100%.
28 for me, Vancouver Canucks. Um,
Yeah, same here.
I'm just still not a fan of what's going on there. It's hard to be a fan of what's really going on there. But 5-5 in the last 10. Um, but there's just still needs to be more with the fire. Some of the firepower they do have. Just needs to start
Yeah.
clicking. Hughes hasn't looked the best at times. Pedersen hasn't needed some fire, and goaltending gets left out the dry half the time. So
Yeah.
yeah, they moved down. Only 2 spots though.
Yeah, no, agree with that. And my 27, I just gotta check this quickly because I'm not 100% sure. Moving up one spot, the Boston Bruins.
Yeah, they're my 26.
This is a team I just I can't get my head around. They started off just out the gate, what was it, 4-0, and then all of a sudden they lost their next six or something like that, and they've won their last three or something. Oh, sorry, it's like four straight, then lost seven, then they've won their last three, and now they find themselves as 7-7. So a real Jekyll and Hyde side. And I just don't know which one we're going to get long term. I don't know if it's going to be the Bruins that just, went on that horrible losing streak, or if it's the Bruins that are putting together these 3 and 4 game win streaks. So, yeah, it's a mixed bag.
Yeah. Well, that's my first Eastern Conference team. The bottom six were Western. Um, but another Eastern Conference team, probably maybe lower than some people might have them, the Rangers at 25.
Yeah, I've got
And
them at 25 as well.
yeah, this team's hard to place because they're around the 30 to 32 mark, but then like Shesterkin brings them up to like top 10, and then like it's hard to really figure out where they are. They're getting some decent results this week, and that's what you want. They've actually records not too bad for how poorly they have played. 6-5-2, 14
Yeah.
points in 13 games. Like for how poor it's looked on ice, the actual results points wise has been there, but I'm not sold on them yet. I need to see, you know, old New York Rangers,
Yeah.
come through to move them up higher.
Yeah, that's like that's my issue with them. I think their goaltending has kept their record strong. If it wasn't for goaltending, their record would probably be a lot worse. But it's also the teams that they've lost against as well,
Mm.
which worry me because they've dropped games to the likes of Calgary, um, San Jose, and alike. So it's not like they've had a very hard schedule, and they've found themselves at 6-5-1, but they've played 10 games against the best teams in the league. They're losing games and dropping points against the worst teams in the league, and that's why I can't move too hard on them, even though they have looked good in the last few games. So, all right, 24 for me. I have the Buffalo Sabres. This kind of felt wrong to me because they moved down 3 spots, and I haven't really thought they've done anything wrong.
That's still 18 for me. I didn't move on them.
Yeah,
This from 24 up, probably to 16, is a mess.
is is a train wreck.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah, I kept moving teams up, like obviously, you look at where I had Tampa last week and they've obviously gone up and there's a few other teams that have gone up as well. And I just found myself putting the Sabres back and I was like, but I, I'm I'm indifferent on their performance. I haven't hated their gameplay. I haven't hated their results. It just hasn't done it. They haven't done anything to make me,
Yeah,
shoot them up. And I've got other teams that have just jumped ahead of them. So yeah, they've moved back 3. They're not playing poorly. They're still an iffy team for me though.
yeah, they're always an iffy team. That is the Buffalo Sabres. That's their motto. We are iffy. All right, on to
Yep.
number 24 for me. Team oofed. Toronto Maple Leafs. I am not sold on this team
23.
whatsoever, and I do think we may have seen the peak of Matthews. I really do think he has some sort of long-term back injury or lower body injury or something that is hampering him from playing the way he used to. It just seems like his skating, his speed is not what it used to be. And obviously, then you got the no minor situation to lay you up. Um, he did put in a good
Yep.
goal today. That looks like old school Matthews, but for 13.25, he's turned into a 2C defensive. 13 mil,
Yep.
you need to be a 1C 40 goals, maybe 50 or 60, because that's what Matthews does. Um,
Well, he's a
yeah,
franchise. He's a franchise player. Like he's got to be 100 plus points. He's got to be putting up minimum 40 goals.
yeah. I just think
But
this
he's
team lives and
it's
dies by Matthews. If he
yeah,
performs, they perform. If he doesn't, they don't.
yeah, and that's what I was about to say. He's got to be winning them games, right? Like he's got to actually win them games. It's all well and good to be like, oh, I put up 100 points, but it's like, how many games did you win off your own back? And I just don't feel like Matthews is playing as that player at the moment. He's not winning them games off of his back at the moment, and that's sort of disappointing considering the player he is. All right, 22. I have the Los Angeles Kings.
Yeah, 21.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
I think
That's
they
pretty
look good,
much
just
as
don't
good as I
get
can.
the results. Uh,
They don't get the results. Yeah,
yeah.
it's just what like yeah, it's hard to put into words what this team is lacking at the moment because they don't look too poor defensively. They seem to be able to attack, but they're not putting enough goals on the board. And when they're putting the goals on the board, they're conceding too much. Um, it's not clicking at the moment. They're getting the wins. They're around the mark, but they're just not at their best yet. I think their best is still to come. I think they still have it. They've just got to find it because they did have a lot of changes in the off season. They brought in a lot of new faces. It's going to take some time. So I'm still hopeful for the Kings.
All right, 23 for me. Tampa Bay Lightning. Um,
Yeah, they're my 21.
where are we? Yeah, I just didn't move on too much yet. I just need to see a little bit more, just to make
Yeah,
more moves. But like I said, from 24 up, it really is
it's
like
a
a mix.
rabble.
Yeah, you could roll some dice and see where you want them. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, I have to see old Tampa in a sense to keep moving them up. Or at least seeing some good results continuously because they did have a poor start to the season, but it is started to look
yeah,
pretty damn well. They are still 25th in the league in regards to the points, like 5-3-2 in the last, but they've won the last 4. So
yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. They've looked good, which I've liked, but when you start really poor like that, it's hard to shoot them too far up. It was the same reason the Rangers haven't, I know 5 spots is a lot, 8 spots is a lot, but yeah, like their team's capable of top 10, and they're both 20 and below. So yeah, I expect them to move up the board, but I just don't want to move too quick on them, and then have to like smash them back down 16 spots like I did with the Nashville Predators. All right, number 20 for me. I have the New York Islanders.
They're my 19.
Yeah,
I
this
don't know.
is a team I feel like was the same as the Buffalo Sabres for me. I just found them dropping,
Hmm.
but I'm indifferent on their play. They haven't really done anything wrong. They're playing pretty similar to what they have been. I just think other teams have been performing better. Um,
Yeah. I just like that they're always in it. It's kind of like a natural situation. They're
mm,
always in it. Um,
yeah,
and they do need to like put a full 60-minute um game in where like they don't get that inconsistency. But I really do
yeah,
like how it looks. Schaefer looks good, and they've been putting in goals, which I would have thought would have been a problem this year. Um, and that hasn't been so far. So I I had them sliding down, just not too much at the moment.
yeah,
Alrighty, on to 22 for me. That is the Ottawa Senators.
yeah. 19th for me.
Yeah, just another team. Like this team is kind of like Buffalo, just always like you don't know what you're going to get. Um, they've been a bit better recently, but they are 5-3-2 in the last 10. But they are still like -3 in goal differential, and I do think that is a hint at how the up and down this team can be. For what we
Yeah,
expecting at the start of the season to what we're getting is to a little bit of a disappointment. But Claude Giroux look good and everything. I'm liking that.
yeah. It's look, they're around the mark. They're not falling too far back like a few of the other teams like Minnesota and St. Louis. But yeah, I was expecting them to come out of the gates. Obviously, the Brady Kachuk injury has affected them quite a significant amount, but I expect them to still be quite strong.
Mm.
Um, all right, 18 for me. I have the Florida Panthers.
I
Like,
don't like where I have them, but they're
what do you do
16
with
for
these
me.
guys?
Yeah.
What do you do with these guys, man? Like, I just I 18 feels wrong. Any higher feels wrong. Any lower feels wrong. I was just sitting there going, I just don't know. Like they're injury plagued, so I don't want to hate on them too much. I don't want to be like, yeah, see you later. You're down at 25 whilst you're still getting points and you're still doing all right. But yeah, I struggled with this one because yeah, they're not playing poorly, but they're not playing, to Florida's level. But
Yeah.
there's reasons for that because, so yeah, it's tough. It was tough putting them there, that's for sure.
This is kind of what I expected, honestly, this season. They'll keep doing this all
Mm.
season, make the playoffs, and then they'll do their thing.
And then win the third cup.
Yeah. On to 20 for me. Maybe a bit lower than what some people might have. I have the Flyers.
Yes, I have them inside my top 16, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're 16th.
Yeah, I'm just not sold on this team. They did get a good result, I think, against Pittsburgh. They played well there, but then they've looked ordinary against easier teams. And
Mm.
yeah, I guess it's also just like play style in a sense that I'm not as much of a fan of it compared to some of the other teams, where it's like more controlling, more exciting, I guess as well. But
Yeah.
they haven't been bad. Like the results have been there. Like they're 6-3-1. Yeah, 13 points in 11 games, +3 goal differential. Like it's all positives. I'm just not sold on it yet. I do think it does regress at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I struggled having them stay in my top 16. I just had no one else that I felt deserved to go into the top 16. So,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. On to my 17, which is the Edmonton Oilers.
Where did I put them? Yeah, they're my 17.
Yeah, they've been a mixed bag as well. And, it's always spoken about how poorly Edmonton starts the season, and they usually don't get off to a great start. And then they bounce back. They finished first or second in their division, and then obviously go on and do their thing and make the Stanley Cup final like they have in the last 2 years. But I couldn't put them in the top 16. Not the way they're playing at the moment.
I don't know,
They're
man. It
they're
feels
too
different to the
inconsistent.
last years. I don't know why. It just feels different. I think
Yeah,
Bouchard's looked horrible. Against New York Rangers, he was the number
he
one
has.
player
He
on the
has.
field for the New York Rangers. Yeah. So it's no,
Yep.
he has looked horrendous. That deal, like that contract, looks horrendous. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like they move up three because they've looked bad at times. They've looked alright at times. But all in all, looking bad, looking good. Their results, like points wise, is alright. 15 points in 13
Yep.
games. You take that with how
Mhm.
it has looked at times. And
Yep.
then obviously you got the goaltending thing, but I'm never gonna blame goaltending until I see better defending. So
Yeah. Until you see Bouchard not make 15
yeah,
mistakes a game.
Bouchard or Nurse or
Yeah.
someone else, yeah, or the
Yeah.
the forwards not back
100%.
checking, which has happened a lot as well. Um,
Yeah.
all right, on to 15, the Washington Capitals. Um, a team
Yes,
that's
they have had a
slid a
little
bit.
drop, haven't they?
Yeah, not good
Yeah, I've got
results this
them at
week.
14.
Yeah, not good results this week. 5-4-1 in the last 10. It's they looked a little bit more ordinary than what we would have been expecting. Um, still strong though. It's just
Yeah.
it's not looking great. I don't know. I don't think this continues. I do think they have a little bit of a bounce back. That's that's why like they're 15 for me because the other
Yeah.
teams couldn't knock them out.
Yeah, I think Washington is still a very strong side. And I think it's just one of those weeks. They've had some
Yeah,
poor results, some things not go their way. And I think, yeah, I still think they're top three in the Metro. I don't think there'll be anything to worry
I
about.
don't know
It's
about
just a bit
that.
of a blip.
I think the Pens are pretty up there.
I,
Um,
yeah, well, I mean,
Everyone
they
thinks
they
they're gonna
are
fall off. I don't know. I
at,
don't know.
at the moment they are, but
You don't believe in
yeah, I
Crosby? How
just
dare you? How dare
oh
you?
mate, I believe in Crosby 100%, but it it's early, so I
Yeah,
need to if we get to Christmas and this is still going and the Pens are still going strong, then I can probably get behind it and be like, yeah, okay, this will continue. But we've seen teams. I think the Ducks last year were in the playoffs for a long time, and then just fell off.
yeah. No,
And
I think a lot of it will come down to what happens at trade deadline.
yeah.
Who splashes, who doesn't.
Hmm. All right. My 15 is the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, my 13 feels weird.
Oh, it does, doesn't it? Like they've played all right, but have they really played as a top 16 team? Like but I was looking at it and I was going, but who do I kick them out for? I don't think the Oilers are playing better than the Hawks. I don't think Florida. I don't think the Sens. Like, who kicks them out? There's no one. I do think they will regress some more, and that they will fall fall back to where we expect them to be. Because I don't necessarily expect them to be bottom three, but I think they'll probably be around that mid-20s mark by the end of the year.
Mm, no, I agree. On to 14, I have the Kraken.
Yes, they're my
S-
13.
yeah, sliding down a bit. 4-2-4 in the last 10. Negative goal differential. They still look good. I just don't think they've gotten the results, and I think that's yeah, just a big key thing. I do think they will climb back up, and it's just really one of those weeks like Washington where you just need to get the results, and they didn't.
Yeah, but the thing is like 4-2-4, you're still 12 points in your last 10. It's not horrible. You've gone
Mm,
4-6, but you've still gone above 500. So, it's one of the areas where I don't like teams that depend too much on overtime losses, but it also keeps you right up there in the standings. I mean, just look at the Avs. They're 7-6, I think, on the season,
mm.
but they're top of the league because they're 7-1-5. So yeah. All right. 12th, I have the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, they're my 12 as well.
Yeah, I don't really know what to make of these guys. They seem to play really, really well and then fall off a little bit, have a bad loss, or they have an overtime loss. Like it just yeah, it's not. I don't think it's fully clicking right now. I think they're gonna easily be in the top three in the Central. I don't think there's going to be any issues with that. I think they'll make playoffs no matter no issues. I'm just not convinced they've got it all figured out just yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it concerns me because this is kind of like what they do every year, where you don't really know what you're getting. It's kind of like
Yeah.
the Ottawa Buffalo, but at the other end of the leaderboard. Um,
Well,
where like they perform more than not, but you still don't know what you're gonna get night to night.
you you can't trust them. And also, when was the last time you saw a team that was 6-3-3 and had a negative goal difference? They're
Yeah,
-3. They're
yeah.
6-3-3. Like, yeah, it's just a mixed bag at the moment, and I'm not sure, yeah, what you're gonna get night in, night out. They could come out and beat a team 4-0, and then they could get beaten 4-0 the next night. You don't know what you're gonna get from 'em.
All right, number 11, Anaheim Ducks. Really stellar season so far. Really impressed. Obviously overachieving compared to where everybody else would have had them at the start of the season. 6-3-1 in the last 10, +4 goal differential. They've only played 10 games, so they've
Yeah,
had a less of a schedule compared to some of the teams. Like Boston's had 14 games, so it might start falling apart when they start doing more back to backs and a more closed in schedule. But for now,
yeah.
it's looked good.
Yeah, 6-3-1 in your first 10. Like, you can't complain about that. They're 18th in the standings, but they're ninth in points percentage. So,
Mm.
yeah, it could go one or two ways. You might be right once they catch up, or once that schedule gets a little bit more compact for them. They might slip a little bit, but they've done everything that they need to at this point. And yeah, they're looking all right.
All right.
All right, 11 for me. Moving up a massive amount is the Columbus Blue Jackets. 13 spots, Jaden.
Yeah, they look good. This is the team that I thought we were going to get this year. The team that came out this week. So yeah, I'm very impressed by them. It looks good on the ice.
Yeah,
They're deadly. They're 7-3 in the last 10. They're on a 4-game win streak.
yeah,
Um, everything looks positive at the moment. So
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like 7-3, 4 game winning streak, like you said. And yeah, they've flipped the script a little bit because they were 3-4 there for a minute, and it was a little bit questionable. They weren't getting great goaltending. They weren't scoring as well. And they've sort of flipped that around now. So I hope they can keep this momentum going and they don't sort of regress, because I would really love it if this team made the playoffs. It would just be fantastic to see, a team that everyone expected to be bottom last season, that came out and surprised everyone, and then bang, all of a sudden they're in the playoffs this season moving forward. So I think everyone expected dark times for Columbus even before the Goodrow stuff. Like, no one was expecting them to do stuff even with Goodrow, and then once all that stuff happened, everyone thought they'd bottom out, but they are absolutely, yeah, they've turned it around, that's for sure.
all right,
All right,
number 9 for
your
me
nine, yeah.
is Carolina Hurricanes, sliding a little bit for me. Not really
I think
based on them. They're 6-4 in the last 10. It's just probably the other teams doing just a little bit better, performing a little bit better. Um, it hasn't looked great at some points, and they've had some iffy results from memory as well, which is why I was a little bit more damper on them
Yeah,
compared to the other teams. So they slide, but obviously they're still performing really well. They're still the
yeah,
Carolina that we're expecting to see. Um, so
yeah.
it looks good.
Yeah, still expecting them to be an absolute powerhouse. I don't expect them to drop out this outside the top 10 at any point, to be honest with you. All right, number 9 for me, I've got the Detroit Red Wings.
They're my 7.
Yeah, look, they've looked good for the majority. They had a couple of games slide there, where they struggled. They obviously lost to the Ducks the other day as well. But I still think we're seeing more good than bad from them. They still have their little, their little lapses in concentrations, the games that they drop that they shouldn't, but I still think that we're seeing the Red Wings that might finally get over that hump, because their issue has always been their good is very good, but their bad is very bad. I
Yeah.
think we're seeing them close that gap a little bit now, and their bad, it's still an issue, but it's not as bad, it's not as prominent. And I think that we'll see them be more consistent throughout the year, and their
Yeah.
drop
Well, they
offs
finally
won't
got a
be as
goaltender, and
significant.
so they can cover up that badness a little bit more than
Yeah,
previous years. So when they're bad, it isn't as bad as because goaltending most likely.
yeah,
8 for me. I have the Vegas Golden Knights.
yep, they're 7 for me.
Vegas, there we are. Yeah, 6-2-2. Last 10, +7 goal differential. Only played 11 games, 15 points. They look good. They moved down just because other teams behind them just performing well. I don't think, like Carolina, I don't see them going out of the top 10 this year. Mana
Yeah,
looks good. Mana looks happy. We all thought that would happen at a new spot, and yeah, they're probably one of the deadliest ones this year. So
yeah,
all good at Vegas.
yeah, yeah. Look, I the same. I don't think top 10 at all. I think 7 is quite low for them, but I think as the season goes, they'll progress into that top 5, and that's where they'll stay for the whole season, basically. All right, number 6, I have the Pittsburgh Penguins,
Yep.
and as you said, Jaden, will they regress? Won't they regret? Do you believe in Crosby? It's hard not to believe in them at the moment, man, because they are on fire, and every time you think that they're going to fall off and drop back, they don't. They had a little bit of a slip up at the start of the season after their fast start, and everyone was like, "Oh, okay, here we go. The Pens are back in the McKenna race." But they've just gone straight back to it.
Well,
They
Malkin just looks
yeah.
possessed. That man looks like he's
Brazo is
20
just
or
unreal.
something. No, I'm just really surprised by Malkin. Like he just looks like.
Contract year, mate. Contract year.
Yeah, that's how it
He's
works.
he's pissed off, mate. He was told that they don't want him anymore. You're
Say
gone after this
everyone should
season.
just
What are you
sign
doing?
1 year deals if you want to win the cup because contract year.
100%.
Um,
100%. Every single one of your players in contract season, you'll win it in a landslide. You'll go 82 and 0.
yeah, I'm just
Um,
interested to see, if that injury does come, that his seasonal injury, like Mark Stone, um,
yeah,
and that's maybe when Pens decline.
slip. Yeah,
Until I see that, but it's just crazy for the age he is, what he's doing. Same with Crosby and stuff, and then we're talking about Matthews, who's in his prime and struggling. So it's kind
yeah.
of like a, I don't know, reversal of what you should be
It's what
expecting.
separates the men from the boys, right? Like,
Yeah.
the best of the best don't really seem to ever have like slumps. They don't ever seem to have
Mm.
bad times. Like they're consistent. They push through. Even at their worst, they're still unreal. And
Yeah,
that's what you're
that's why I
seeing.
say Matthews has to have an injury. But anyway,
Yeah. All right. On to your
oh,
5,
my
mate.
5, it is me.
Yeah, it's yours.
Moving down, New Jersey Devils. Out of the number 1 spot. The
Oh, he's
team,
gone hard.
yeah, no, the team looks bad. All things like the defense, they can't
Cool.
gap. In can't gap, I mean, in regards to um, forwards ND. It's just they're not playing well. Obviously, getting 8 forward by the Avs. They lost to the Sharks. I called it because the Sharks play with speed, and
Yeah.
I just knew they would get burnt by that speed, and it
Yeah.
happened. And yeah, look, they got pretty much outplayed all game by LA, but they come out with a win. So it hasn't looked great, and it's slightly on the decline. They do have injuries, but they
They
happen.
do.
They do happen to every
Yeah.
team, and they got to stop making that an excuse. So
Exactly. Like, and the thing is that I know they lost Pesci, who's obviously a key component on their D, but their D line's supposed to be stacked. Like they're supposed to have, far too many D players as well. Once Kovacevic comes back, they're sitting there talking about, well, who do you scratch? So losing Pesci shouldn't kill you like it did. Um, and to get blown out 8-4 and to get blown out by the Sharks back to back games when they're supposed to have one of the better defenses
Mm.
in the league is really concerning and really poor. And then, like you said, even the Kings game today, outplayed, come away with the win. So yeah, look, I I thought I had them higher, but I do have them at 4.
Mm.
Yeah, I if they don't turn that around, I expect them to continue to drop down their standings, and it is concerning.
Yeah.
All right, my number 5 is a team that beat the Devils, but also lost to the Devils this week, Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah. Number 4.
I like I know they blew the Devils apart in that other game, but my real issue with the Avs at the moment is they're 7-1-5. They've lost 6 games this year. They keep going to overtime. They can't win in overtime. So
Yeah, see,
I just
I've got the opposite of like, hey, they've played 13 games and they've only lost one game in regulation.
yeah, they've
So
lost one in regular. It is hard, but like I also expect a team that is one of the best teams in the league to be able to close out games,
yeah, with a team with McCarr and
to be
McKinnon,
able
you
to
would have think
close
they
out
would be
games in
winning
regulation. And
OTs.
well, that as well. Like how do you have Makara McKinnon on the ice in overtime and not get a win?
Mm,
Um, so yeah, like I think they're dangerous, but I think they're just missing that element that helps them close out games.
yeah, which is crazy to say for a team
Yeah, I know,
that's
right?
stacked like that. Number 3 for me,
Yeah,
moving down one spot, Utah. Um, didn't do anything wrong. It's just other teams
yeah,
jumping for me. Um,
yeah,
yeah, look, 8-2 in the last 10. They've only played 11 games, 16 points. They're a plus 10 in goal differential. They look good on ice. I moved down just because I'm high on another team at the moment. Um,
yep,
and yeah, look, I'm really happy that they're finally doing well. Uh,
yeah.
it was Utah,
Let's hope they can hold it.
Arizona, and
Hmm.
Buffalo who I've been waiting for a long time to be good. So at least one of them.
Yeah, yeah. At least someone comes up. But no, I agree. I didn't move them down because the one loss, I didn't put too much on it. It was an Oilers team that can do that to you if you're not, if you're not on your game. So, yeah, they say 2 for me. But I'm assuming, yeah, I'm making assumptions here. We might have the same first, but that team that you're really high on at the moment, I'm pretty high on as well. I just wish they wouldn't take it until overtime. It's the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, they're my number
I get
2.
it. You've got the best overtime player in the league in Cole Caulfield because apparently that's all he does. What is he, 22 years old, has 11
Yeah,
overtime winning goals
Clutchfield.
already?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Jesus Christ, mate, calm down. I don't think you need to send anyone else out on the ice. Just put Caulfield out there. He'll finish it for you. But yeah, look, they're exciting, man. They are super exciting. I just wish they would, the same as the Avs, would get the game done before overtime. I think that's my only concern with them. But in saying that, like they're getting the wins. In the regular season, it really doesn't matter.
Mm.
Um,
All
so
right.
yeah, as long as they get the playoffs.
On to number 1, Winnipeg Jets. Same for both of us. Team just looks solid. It's kind of the Winnipeg that happened at the start of the year last year. 8-2-0 in the last 10, 3-game win streak, 18 points, 12 games, plus 15 goal differential, which is the best in the league. They're just doing on all aspects: forwards,
Yeah,
defense, goaltending. Goaltending's been outstanding. I think Hellebuck's numbers are pretty insane from memory. Um, yeah, I don't really see a flaw at the moment. Um,
no,
and that's, I guess, what I'm waiting for is when that hiccup comes, like what happened last year. Um, so until then, ride the bandwagon.
Yeah, and I think the issue for the Jets is that it doesn't matter about what they do in the regular season. Like, they need to show up in playoffs.
Yeah.
I think we all expect the Jets to be one of the top teams in the Central. It's just going to come down to, can they perform come playoffs? They made second round last season, which was great, but with how they played, and how Hellebuck plays in the regular season, it doesn't really matter what they do right now. They could be first in the power rankings. They could be first in the standings all season. It doesn't mean anything. It comes down to, can they show up in the playoffs? Can we get regular season Hellebuck in the playoffs? Because I tell you right now, you get regular season Hellebuck in the playoffs, and the Jets win a cup.
Mm, pretty much. That's pretty much all it takes
Hmm.
for the Jets to
Yeah,
do it. But they're destroying teams 5-on-5, destroying on power play, penalty kill. They've got every aspect running at the moment, so it's hard to see
yeah,
them dropping off, or another team catching in them at the moment. Granted they're on the same points as like Devils and Canadians, um, but it just feels like they're a step above at the moment.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, let us know what you think of our rankings. What you agree with, disagree with on each side, and yeah, don't feel free to put in your power rankings for the week in the comments below as well. But yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. But till next time, we'll catch you guys.
Bye, guys.